everybody. Welcome to Fun Food and Facts this Sunday night. If you're brand new and don't know who I am, my name is Samantha, and I am one of the directors in Champion. And I put on the Fun Food and Facts every single week, and we also have guest speakers on occasionally, which is amazing because we have great guest speakers. And I am recording this right now, so you might be watching live. Well, I know you guys on are watching live, but if you're watching the recording, that's great too. And the topic at hand tonight was how to work your business efficiently. And this is something that I've been asked a lot lately. And this really came up, and I'm like, okay, we need to talk about this on Fun Food and Facts. This is what we're going to do. So I'm going to first give you a little bit about my background, because I think that, oh, hello, there's my phone going off. Don't they know we're recording? I'll call you back. So, and put my phone over here because it's a distraction. I apologize. But when I first started in Tupperware, I'm going to kind of give you my background, because then you can maybe understand, maybe you can relate, I don't know. Or maybe you know somebody that can relate to this. So I met Ellen Lewis, who recruited me. I met her in June of 2008. And at that time, I was working 3 jobs. I was not going to school yet, but I was thinking about it. And we had just found out that my mom had cancer, and I knew that the only person that was going to help take care of her was me. And so that was my life. It was so busy that when I met Ellen in June, she said, oh, and I was also running a softball team. I was the captain and in charge of it, so we played every Tuesday night. So anyway, I worked at Kalahari, which is a resort, as a server and a bartender. I worked at a local bar as a bartender. And I worked in real estate with my husband. So we were just, we were a couple years into our business at this point. Ellen says to me, you should have a party. I said, I don't know when I'm going to have time. I'm so busy, but yeah, I'll have one, because I wanted to get the free stuff. And she's like, really? And how many times have you heard somebody say, oh, I'm so busy, but they're really not busy, right? And I think she kind of gave me that look like, are you really that busy? And because I did in my head, I looked in my mind, I was like, okay, like I visualized my calendar, and I said, I have the last week in August. And remember, this is the first week in June. And I mean, come on. Who has their whole summer so booked that they couldn't fit in a party for 2 hours? So I actually showed her my calendar, actually she had her calendar out, and I went through all of the dates. I work, I have this, I have this, I have that, I have this, I have this. I mean, I went through everything, and she literally said, wow, you really are booked. Yep, I really was. So at my party, 3 months later, and to be perfectly honest, I hadn't heard from her in a couple months, because 2 weeks after that, her father passed away, which was horrible. And I kind of didn't know that, but I mean, I didn't know that, but I kind of was like, oh, I didn't hear from the Tupperware lady. I guess my party was canceled. Yay! I'm really glad it didn't happen. But anyways, I'm giving you the background, okay? I'm giving you the long story version, because I want you to be able to understand it. So at my party, I legitimately, it was like the first time in a really long time that I could like sit down and sort of relax. And I had my family there. I had a couple friends, but mostly my family was there. And so it was really nice, but I paid no attention to Ellen really, because I didn't cook. I didn't care about cooking. I was there to hang out, have a party, and see my friends and family and relax in a night that I needed some relaxation. And she caught my attention at the end when she was talking about like, you know, all the money she was making, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, all right, whatever, you know. So anyway, I told her I work 3 jobs. And at this point, I had just signed up for school because I wanted to get out of these jobs and have a career. And she said, so I have school full time, and I've got mom's appointments. And she's like, I'm going to show you how to make it work. And I said, okay. We'll try it out. And clearly it's history, right? You guys know that it worked because I'm still here. And it'll be 9 years this September, which is just ridiculous. It's crazy. I can't believe it. So anyways, I'm going to tell you some of the things that she told me and the things that I actually did and some of the sacrifices I made, because it wasn't easy, but it was worth it. I mean, it's been worth it. So I gave you the big background because I wanted you to understand where I was coming from and understand that I couldn't breathe. I was so busy. And I didn't even know that I was that busy. I mean, I knew I was, but I just did it every day. You know, I don't know if anybody else feels that way. You just wake up and you just do it, you know, it has to get done. You have to get up early in the morning because you got to pick up mom and go to the doctor appointment and take her back home. And then you know you have to be work at 3:30, so you better eat somewhere in between there. And if not, you might eat something at work, right? And then, oh crap, I got to get off work and I've got to do this. And you just did it, right? You had homework at night, you had classes during the day, whatever it was, you just did it. So I'm going to show you how I just did it. And actually how I still do it. Because people think that I'm not busy now because I don't have kids, or because I'm not in school, or because I don't have, you know, like another job that's full time and all that. But believe it or not, I'm still really busy. And the more time you have on your hands, sometimes the less you actually get done. So anyway, I'm going to show you my calendar, or a calendar. This is my calendar, and I'm going to actually show you kind of how I did this. And I just realized now it might be kind of difficult to do that. So let's see if I have, okay, so I didn't buy this calendar till later, so here's January's. So we'll mark up January's because this is last January and I didn't have this planner then. So, okay, first and foremost, you have to relax and realize that it can be done. I know it seems hard, and I promise you there's gonna be things that you have to do that you're not gonna want to do at first, but you gotta think of the outcome. Like, you know, when you are wanting to work out to feel better about yourself, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna get up earlier, I'm gonna work out, and you really don't like it, but then, you know, 3 months later after doing it, you're like, wow, look at the results, I look fantastic, I feel great, right? I mean, I can't think of another example besides that one right now, but eating healthier is the same way. Oh, I can't believe I can't eat my pizza, and I can't eat my cake, and I can't eat all my junk food. But then 3 months later, you're like, wow, look at what's happened, you know? And I say 3 months because it's a 3 month, it's like a 3 month interval. What you do now will show up in 3 months in your business, just so you know. So if you aren't working now, then in 3 months, your business is gonna look good. If you worked for the 3 months prior, and then your business is looking fantastic, and you're like, why don't you do anymore? Because my business is doing so great, and then you stop working, in 3 months, you're gonna see the effects. So it's a 3 month snowball. Okay, so first things first, I use highlighters to color coordinate my life. You can use whatever highlighter colors you want. I liked green for parties because I made money. You know, that was what I thought of. And then, I don't remember what colors I did back in the day, and it changes for me now because it's however I'm feeling. Because as you can see, my last one, it's yellow for parties. I don't know why I did that, but I was like, oh, yellow, parties. And I used one for meetings. I used one for my jobs. And I think back then I had more colors because I had more jobs. So that's kind of what I did in school. And so you might have the same thing. You might need more colors. You might need 4, but you break break down your life. You know, maybe you get a piece of paper and you break it down. And you can break it down by like school, work, kids, meetings, I don't know, like parties, like kind of break it down, you know, in your mind or on a piece of paper because then it's easier on here. I hope I'm not losing you guys because there's not any chatter. So give me some chatter. Let me know if I'm losing you because I feel like in my mind I make complete sense. Hi, Ava. Okay, good. All right, good. All right, you like the colors? Okay, good. We're not losing you. All right, so I knew, and I'm going to mark this up. So I knew, and I'm how my day or my schedule works. I knew I had, I'll use yellow. I had class every Tuesday and Thursday. Actually, I'm making up days now because I don't remember what my calendar was like back then. So I'm just going to do that. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, I had class in the morning. It was like 9 to 3, I think it was. So I had class. So I'd write that in. 9 to 3 class. And by the way, oh, it's okay. You can't interrupt. That's fine. I don't mind that. By the way, I usually took a good 30 minutes to an hour a month prior to plan my month, just so you know. Like it takes time to plan it so that you are, you know, organized. So 9 to 3 class. 9 to 3 class. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay, so I knew I couldn't do anything from 9 to 3, I had class, right? All right, so then I also knew that I worked at the office bar every other Saturday. And again, I'm making this up. I remember some of this is true, most of this is true, but I can't remember like the exact detail. So I worked at the bar, and I usually went in at 9 o'clock, and I worked every other Saturday. Okay, and then I also worked usually Friday nights. I worked every Friday night, actually, now that I think about it. I worked every Friday night. So I put that in. Okay, and then I knew I worked at Kalahari, right? And I usually worked at Kalahari's Sundays, and then sometimes during the day on Friday. So Sunday, like 1 to 6. 1 to 6. 1 to 6, and then I worked there during the day on Friday. So like 9 to 5 or something like that. I think it was 9 to 5. So you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, she's pretty booked already, right? Well, then I had to make sure that I took my mom to all of her appointments, which were usually during the day, and they were at least once a week, if not more. And I kind of fit that in. And then real estate, I don't remember what day of the week it was, but one day a week, we had to go to the office and had like, what's it called? Like office time, like you had to sit and answer phones or whatever. So I had that in there, and I'm pretty sure it was on Wednesdays. That would actually make sense because it was on Wednesdays. So I think that was like at 1 o'clock. It was from 1 to 3. 1 to 3. 1 to 3. 1 to 3. So I had Mondays open, and I had Tuesdays and Thursday nights open, and I had Wednesday nights open, right? So that's kind of how I looked at it. Like, okay, I'm very, very busy, but I had some times open. And so then I would just request days off for my parties. Like if I had to be working that night, because sometimes I would work at Kalahari on Thursday nights. So, I mean, these are just an average of what I was doing. So I would say, okay, Vicki, you want to do a Tupperware party for me? This has happened. She actually did one for me in the very beginning of my business. And I was like, okay, great. So the 12th, the 19th, what would work for you? And she'd say, the 19th. Awesome. I know Vicki's party is the 19th at 7 p.m. That means I had class from 9 to 3, so I better be packed and ready beforehand. And her party's Thursday night, so I better request that night off and make sure that I'm not working at either job. See how that worked? And then I'd highlight everything. So I highlighted the office bar in yellow. So I knew when I was working then. Meetings were on Monday nights, if you remember, but we only had 2 meetings a month back then. So we had a meeting at the first and the middle. So meeting was from, it was an hour away. So it was always like 5 to 10 or something is when I would get back. Meeting, 5 to 10. Okay, so then I'd have parties. So green are my parties, green's my meetings because I learned to make money, right? And then I might put in a party over here because I look at Misha wants to do a party. Well, Misha, I have the 17th or 24th open. Which one do you want? Oh, the 24th? Great. Okay, so I put Misha in to do a party. And she did one at 7 p.m. This is really, really, really messy writing, but I want you to see like the colors. There's a point, a method to this madness. Have a view saying link isn't working. I'm not sure why. There's 19 of you on right now. Huh, we'll have to figure that one out. Okay, so class, let's do class was orange. And again, this looked actually a lot neater and nicer. But I'm just doing it like this. And I could totally and utterly do this like beforehand, but I like to show you, as we're doing it. Okay, so then we had that colors, and then I had pink was Kalahari, which I actually did Kalahari yellow by accident. We'll just go over it with pink because the office bar was yellow. And that was that. Okay, 1 to 3. That was a completely different color, wasn't it? Mouse, really? I'm busy. Busy. Okay. So we'll make that one orange too. So I don't think I have any other colors. I used to have purple. I don't know what happened to it. Okay, so as you can see, the date book is full. It's full, right? It's completely full. And anybody else who said, oh my gosh, Samantha, how are you working 3 jobs, going to school, taking your mom to appointments? It's really about just organizing. You have to organize your time. You have to look at it. And you might have to give things up because we record our trainings, and we did back then too. So when I got off work and it was like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, I didn't go to bed. I was already kind of awake, you know, a little bit. And then I would get on one of those recorded calls, or actually, because we were in Ohio, and they do the calls at 9 o'clock at night in California, so it was midnight Ohio time. It was perfect. I'd be like, hey, I'm getting off work at midnight. I get to listen to it live. And I loved that. Stephanie Garber always did that. So I would listen to the recordings. I would get on live when I could, but I looked at the schedule for the week. Oh, look, there's 3 calls I can get on this week. Oh, look, I can come to this meeting. Oh, look, if I rearrange this. Oh, I can stay up later. I can get up an hour earlier, and I can put together my party planning packets so I don't have to worry about that later. I made follow-up calls because I always had, with my calendar, a little notebook with the 3 or 4 names and phone numbers, so all I had to do was go, okay, I need to make follow-up calls today. I don't have to like think about it. I could even take this with me. So if I'm sitting in the car, I'd be like, oh, well, I'm just sitting here. I might as well make a couple of follow-up calls, right? So I had my stuff with me. And that's really what it's about. And I think I'm kind of going a long way around it, but I wanted you to see that it's possible. Because when I hear people say, well, I work 9 to 5. Well, that's actually ideal. If you work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, that's ideal, right? Because you know, you can set up your parties in the morning or at night or the night before and put them in your car. So all you do is come home and eat some dinner and then go to a party, right? You can go to meetings because they're after 5 o'clock. You can have parties on Saturdays and Sundays if you want. If you don't want to do that because you want your weekends off, then do 2 days a week. You know, like 2 days a week, you're going to stay up a little bit later and maybe you'll be a little tired, but think of what you could accomplish that way. So I think that a lot of times when, I'm not going to say all, most of the time, if we say we're too busy, it's really just an excuse to feel too busy. So I'm going to ask you these questions. These ones might actually you might not like them because when people ask me questions that tell the truth, I don't like them. Anybody else? Give me some chat. If somebody, yeah, okay, because that happens. And sometimes I don't like the person who asked it for a minute, and I'm like, ooh, that was the truth. I don't know. I'm going to ask you this. How much TV do you watch in a day? I mean, honestly, I can tell you how much TV I watch in a day. It's little to none. If my TV's on, it's because I have friends on in the background, like I'm eating lunch, and I'm like, oh, I'll put friends on in the background, you know, like that's what's on. Or before I go to bed, I kind of have it on the background because it's soothing for me when I'm relaxing. But I don't watch TV. I think in a whole entire week, maybe I try to get through, maybe there's there's these game shows, $1,000 Pyramid, but it's an hour-long show. It takes me 3 sittings to get through that stupid show. Because I'll sit down and I'm like, oh, I watched it for a minute, but I'm so busy. And then I come back and I watched it like maybe a couple days later. I'm like, oh yeah, let's finish this, you know? And then Gorky's like, let's just finish it. And I'm like, but that's 20 minutes. I don't have time for 20 minutes. And so I probably watch literally maybe an hour a week. 2 hours a week, maybe. If that. That's a lot of TV for me. So probably 3 hours. Is that 3 hours daily? Or 3 hours weekly? Because I know I used to watch a lot of TV. I used to love it a lot. And I'm here to tell you that if you're watching TV, then you have time to do something else, right? Or, see, daily at night to unwind. Okay, 1 or 2 per day. I'm with you. Yep, probably 3 hours. And 3 hours is probably too much because what could you be doing in 3 hours? Even if you cut it in half, you could be making phone calls. Are you doing something when you're watching TV? Because I used to do things called TV time. So like at night when I wanted to wind down, right, or unwind, as you say, Cinda, I would say, oh, well, I'm going to wrap my little gifts together, you know, for my parties. or I'm gonna put together my stickers like on my books and stuff. You know, I would do that at night because it was convenient, and I was like, well, I'm unwinding, but I'm also getting like busy work done, you know, eating and sleeping, LOL. I don't want to be called after 8 p.m., so I don't make calls after 8. But, and you know what? I'll tell you, that's rare, Patricia, because I call people all the way up to 9 o'clock, and most people don't care. I would say in all the years I've been calling, I've only had 2 people ever tell me that it was too late for them, but most people say that's okay. So you don't have to call after 8 o'clock. You can be like, I'm done at 8 o'clock. But then are you watching TV at 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night? Because, again, could you be listening to a training? Could you be putting together your party planning packets? Could you be making sure that you have all your stickers on your stuff? Could you be having your list together of who you could call the next day because it's, you know, the next morning? Do you have your calendar all made out? And I'm not criticizing, because I do this too. I'm just giving you ideas of thinking that when people say, well, it's after 8, I'm done. But what did you do prior to that? Because there are so many times where I say, oh my gosh, it's 8 o'clock, I'm done. And I think about it. I'm like, what did I really get done today? And if I didn't get a lot done today, I better get it done at night. I do that stuff while watching TV. Yeah, see, and I would do that stuff too, Cinda. I like doing that when I'm watching TV. The TV is on the background while I'm working the computer, but it's normally Mickey Mouse. That's funny. I'm on all that. If I do that, I feel like I'm working all the time. So you have to work hard, play hard, right? There has to be like a minimum balance. You got to make sure you have that balance. But sometimes I think that we're thinking we're working all the time, and we're thinking about work, but we're not actually doing the work, right? So there's busy work that we do at night, you know, when we're putting stickers on things and all of that. But how many phone calls are you making a day? I mean, it's true, and I'm guilty of this too, but if you're not making 2 to 5 phone calls a day, and these could literally be like 1-minute phone calls or 5-minute phone calls or follow-ups with your past people, like customer service calls, just calling and saying, hey, just want to check in, make sure you love your Tupperware. You want to know what's on sale? I can tell you, I can send you a catalog, you know, see what they want. If they don't want anything, great, keep me in mind. You have a wonderful day. Just want to make sure you're happy with your purchases, or if you need any recipes or anything, right? And so you really do need to be making the phone calls. Are you sending out thank you cards to people? Are you keeping in contact with people? What did you do to make your business more? Because I think that we are thinking the busy work is work. And the busy work really is, it's good, we need to do it, but it isn't work. It's not really going to help you get to that next step of what you want in your business, right? I've been making phone calls a day, and it really has made a difference. Oh, yay, Kendra, see, it does. I'm so glad. You guys, she sent that to me privately. I promise it says it on there. I'm not like making it up. You're like, she didn't say that, she did. It's just a private link message. But yeah, it's true. If you make, I'm gonna say 3 to 5 phone calls a day, I absolutely promise you're gonna see a difference in your business. It's a numbers game, everybody. It is. You gotta do it. For me, the busy work is like the icing on the cake. It's okay, but not really needed. I needed the cake. But yes, exactly. That's a really good analogy, actually. The cake is the work, and the icing is just the sweetness, you know, just kind of the extra, like we have to do it. And after a while, you pay someone else to do it because you're too busy. And not because you're too busy to do it, because you can do it in your calendar. It's because you should be doing things that take your personality, and those kinds of things don't take your personality, and you can hire someone to do it, or you can have your kids do it. But a couple more things I'm gonna say, and then I also wanna open it up. So if you guys have questions or comments, start writing them in there so I can get to them, because I really am curious what you think, what you thought about this, and what you have learned from this, and any questions you have. But this is something really important that you guys, I think you all need to hear, because it really is true. If you want it bad enough, you will find a way. And I'm going to tell you about the story of this girl that we heard at Jubilee, this last Jubilee we were at. It was kind of amazing, and I hope I tell it well. But there was this woman who had 2 small children, and they lived, I think she said, in Las Vegas or Nevada area. And she said their life was pretty great, pretty great. And she started selling Tupperware, and she was doing everything online, and her husband got really, really, really sick, and he needed to get treatments, and the only treatments he could get were in Cleveland, of all places, actually. And so they actually came to Cleveland, got a house. They had like 2 house payments, and she had to take her kids to Buffalo every day for babysitting, and she'd come back and she'd be at the hospital all day long, and it was just so stressful. And she didn't have Wi-Fi where she was, but she would take her kids and put them in the car, and she'd go to like a McDonald's and like use their Wi-Fi, and she would sit and do Facebook parties. And that's what she did, because she's like, that's all I could do, but I needed to make money. I had to make money. And this is a woman who has her husband in the hospital practically dying and 2 small children, and she's away from her whole entire life. And she is beyond the word busy, because even her mind is busy, like ridiculously busy, like not even thinking about stuff. And she knows, I have to make this work. So she would go and find Wi-Fi, because I've heard this. I don't have Wi-Fi. Hello, free Wi-Fi's everywhere, right? I don't have a computer. There's a library somewhere, right? Someone's got a library somewhere around them. I don't have a car. Uber, walk, take a bike. Like there's always a way. And I'm not saying this again as like being like, oh, I'm being preachy or judgmental. I just want you to dig deep and think, if this is something you really want and you really need the money, or you need the security, or you just want to do something different, because something about owning your own business and being successful, and successful is different to everybody. It's whatever you define success is. It's really a good feeling. It's an amazing feeling. And it's something that not everybody gets a chance to feel that, because they don't believe that they're good enough to do that. And I believe that everybody's good enough to do it. You just have to believe in yourself and know that this schedule of busyness is just an excuse. If you want it, you'll find a way. You will, because you'll want it bad enough, and we're women. Tell us we can't, and we will. Okay, so let's see some of the comments. I've always told my team, it's like your children. If you don't feed them, they will starve. If you don't feed your business, it will starve. Marsha, that is such a good point. You gotta feed your business just like you have to feed your children. But let's take another step farther. Most of you have kids, and I know, because I know you. Some of you don't, but that's okay, but most of you do. If your kid came home from school one day and he wanted so badly to play tennis, but he'd never played before, and tryouts were like in a week, and he was just scared and nervous, would you say, don't try out then because you're just scared? Or you know what? You're kind of busy with school anyway, so don't even try to do something that you really, really want to do, because you're busy and you're scared, and that's okay. I don't think you'd say that. Or the first day of school, when they're like, I'm scared, I don't want to go to school, it's a new school, or it's new this or new that. But you go, oh, that's okay, buddy. You don't have to go to school. You can stay with me forever, and you never have to go to school because you're scared. No! You push them into the dark closet. That's what I used to tell my team. I don't know if you guys, I don't know if Misha was around for that, but you push them in the dark closet, which I know that sounds silly, but it was actually a good analogy back then. You guys don't understand that. But basically, if they're scared of the dark, you push them in the closet and say, look, there's nothing in the closet. There's no boogeyman there, right? You push them out the door, you send them to school, and you say, you can do this. I believe in you, right? That's what we do as directors. I believe in you. You can do it. You just got to do it too. All right. I want to meet her. Yeah, she was great. She sat in Starbucks with the Wi-Fi, right? She sat in Starbucks. I was bawling like a baby during her story. Yeah, it was a pretty powerful one. I was just talking with Sherry today about needing to make this business work. Desperation is a huge motivation. desperation is a huge motivation, but I also want to give you some advice that if you feel desperate when you're talking to people, other people will feel that too, right? It's like you can have your back against the wall and you can be desperate, but you got to make sure you're not feeding that desperation off. And Ellen will tell you her story next week. She was desperate. I think probably the most desperate person I've ever seen for money and for this business to work. And, but she couldn't let that show. And I had a couple girls in my team a bunch of years ago that felt desperate, and I could hear it in their voice, and I saw it when they would do shows with people. And then, because we do shows together, and I tried to tell them, you know, that you're coming across that way, and that's why people aren't dating with you. And so desperation is a huge motivation, but use that as a positive. And I'm sure you are, Cinda. I just wanted to make a point. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. So no more questions, no more comments. Anything, you know, I know that you guys are going to do ahas. I know this, but if you give me just one or two here, just so I know, because the ahas really help me also for like extra things to tell you guys. Or I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to say that. So any ahas would be great to post those. But while you're posting them, I am going to say, there's something else I wanted to say that was really, really important. Organization. If you're not organized in some way, it's a little bit harder. I was not organized in any way. It made it a little bit harder for me. So if you're newer in the business or you're just starting out, I'm going to give you a little bit of organization advice that actually might help you in your business be more efficient too. So I hope you like this. But number one, get Tougher Trends. It's free for the first 2 months, and it's $5.95 a month after that. So Tougher Trends, I believe it's tupperwaretrends.com. I believe that's what the website is. And you sign up for it, and you can put in as many email addresses as you want. You do need to have a paid website, because then your paid website's on there. And so every single month it comes out, and it shares like all the sales, all the stuff that's going on. It's linked to your website. You can put your own personal picture in there if you want, so they can see your smiling face every single month. You can put a personal message, or there's like a pre-recorded message for you. And there's recipes and all kinds of stuff. And this one's really cool. So we get this thing called a one-call report a couple days after it goes out. It comes out once a month. And you don't have to do anything. It does it automatically for you. And the one-call report will tell you who opened it and where they clicked. Don't tell people that you know that. But let's just say Misha is one of my customers. And I see that she's opened up all of them. And she opened up the one about the Hostess Gift Special and the recipe. I might make a phone call like this. Ring, ring, ring. Hi, Misha. It's Samantha with Tupperware. And I was thinking about you just recently, and I thought, we have this new Tupperware recipe and this new Hostess Gift Special that I think you'd be so interested in. And I was wondering if you'd like to do an in-home cooking class. And we could do this recipe. It's the herb shrimp orzo. And I don't know if you'd like herb or shrimp orzo, but I've had it, and it's fantastic. What do you think? I've got 2 dates open this month. Okay, do you see how I turned her click into a potential party, right? I don't say, hey, I saw you clicked on this, so I thought you might be interested. No, right? And then you gave her options. I have these 2 dates open, because you know your date's open because you already did your calendar. You know you've got 2 dates open for parties or 4 dates or whatever, and you're not going to stop till you get them booked, right? Okay, I'm sorry. I want to make sure I get some of these questions in. So that's the number one thing, is Tougher Trends. That really keeps you organized. I'm going to actually show you, because like, I'm so, oh, sorry, Addison. I just ran over my dog with my chair. I'm going to show you my other organization system. This actually has to go on the wall. I apologize for this being a mess right here. And this is replacements that I'm working on. Okay, so these little plasticky things right here, I have 3 of them. And I used to, I'll tell you what I do with them now, but for a long time when I had like a really ridiculous amount of parties and I just couldn't keep track, I have these little envelopes. I told you, if you've been on my calls or you come to my meetings, you know I love these envelopes. Get them at Staples. They're cheaper because you buy them in bulk. There's like a bulk of 50 for $9.99. Otherwise, you pay more for them at Walmart. So anyways, you buy these, and I put the hostess information up here. Like this one just happens to have her name, which is fine. I'll fill that out. And I take this to the party with me. And all of the stuff is in there. So if they give me checks or money, it goes in here too, so I don't lose it. But at the door, prize drawing sheets, I have their order forms. I have everything in here so that I know afterwards what I need to do for follow-ups, right? So if I was working the party, that means that parties haven't happened yet, but I've already started their envelope, right? And they haven't had their party, it would be in this one. Then if they had the party, but we hadn't closed it out yet, I'd move it to this one. And then once the party was closed out, I'd move it to the bottom one. So that when I came into my office to work, I'd say, look, I have to party plan these 3 people, and I have my little sheet that isn't stapled on any of these because for some reason I stopped using it. Anybody do that? You stop doing something that really, really, really works, and then you wonder why you stopped doing it, then you start doing it again and think, oh, why did I ever stop doing that? So my check sheet that I have, it's on the Team Spirit website under party planning. I'm going to start using that again. Actually, I have started using that again because I stopped, and that really hurt me for organization. So anyways, I'd staple it on here so I can pull all of these out and go, okay, let's see. I checked off all those things. I don't need to call her today. I checked off all of these things. Oh, crap. I should call her and make sure she got the recipe I sent her. Called her. Oh, you know what? I didn't get her RSVP for this. I better make sure I call her, right? And then I call her. And done. See how I'm doing that? And then for this one here, I'd say, oh, I've got 3 parties to close out. And then I could write on them, you post-it notes, like what days I'm closing out. Look at my calendar. Oh, I need to call her and close her out. And then at the bottom here, if I need people to call, right? You got to make at least 5 phone calls a day. Oh, okay. Well, let me see here. Mandy's party was in 3 months ago or whatever it was. So I should call these people and check up and make sure that Kim likes her Tupper Mini snack cups and garlic gadget. And Kim, there was 2 Kims, huh? And she wanted her fridge smarts. Did she like them? Did she realize that they were, you know, on, like, were they on sale? They were. I could have called her for them. I could call Kristen and make sure that she likes her rice maker. Ooh, she might actually be really interested in the 4-in-1 multi-stack cooker. You know, like, you see how that can, this is follow-up. So if you don't know who to call, you got people to call right here. So that's how I keep organized. Now, what I'm using these for are my parties. I put my labels down here, and I put my to-do stuff in here, like my papers. Like a lot of it's sitting right here on my desk because I'm working on it. So I set it in there. That's what I use it for now. But that was just, I just wanted to show you some things of how to be organized. You don't have to be this uber organized person, but you got to have some kind of system. All right, so let's see. You guys have a lot of comments here. I know I don't need permission, but sometimes it's good to hear I'm worth success. It's true. We all need to hear that. The calendar is a great visual to let you see how you're really using your time. Yes, it's an amazing visual. And you're going to realize after a while you actually have more time than you think. What do you do with the warm call report? Do you call people who look? Okay, so I usually call people who clicked on things. If they clicked on the recipe or they clicked on the sales brochure, or they clicked on the hostess gift special, those are the people that I usually make my phone calls to, just to kind of like check up with them, you know, and that's how I do my warm call reports. I love Tupperware Trends. My goal is to add at least 25 new email almost a month. That's a great goal. I love that goal. Break down your life. Got to do that all the time or we'll not know where to go next. It's true, and you got to keep your calendar with you. So maybe if you need a smaller one that you can fit in your bag, or permission to go buy a new bag. Although, if you watch any of my stuff, you know I'm not shopping anymore. And I'm going to be selling a lot of bags. So if you need bags, be on the lookout for my stuff. Can you connect the link to your Facebook business page to Warm Trends? That is a really good question that I'm going to actually write down, because that's an amazing question, actually. And I want to know the answer to that. So let me write that down. Can we connect our Facebook business page to Tupper Trends? I'm going to find that out. What a fabulous system. Thank you. Can you add that checklist to the Champion webpage? Yes, I can. Write that down too. Add checklist to Champion. Okay. Did you say the Team Spirit website? I did. Do you guys need that Team Spirit website? I posted a whole lot, but I'll post it again. Yes, you can. Yes, you can connect or put a link from Tupper Trends to Facebook. Well, you can post a link to Tupper Trends to Facebook, but can you post a link from your business page on Tupper Trends so you can say, like my page? If you can, Ava, teach me. I'm going to find out. I have that written down. So let me actually write down Team Spirit website. And I'm also going to post the Champion. I don't know if you guys know this, but the Champion had a whole new website revamp, and it's amazing. There's some great training stuff on there. Yeah, check on that. Let me know. Okay, good. So, yay. I think this was pretty productive. I was really excited to share this. I hope this really did help you because I really wanted you to have like information on how to do it, but I want you to be motivated to know that there is no reason that you guys can't be successful in whatever you want. There's not a person out there in the world that is better than you or that has more. I mean, people have more of things, right? But we are all the same. We all have capabilities to do amazing, wonderful things, but you do have to put forth effort. And it can't be effort on, well, you know what? I labeled all my catalogs and made 10 party planning packets. That's wonderful. But what did you do to get the parties? What did you do to get your vendor shows? What did you do to connect with people, right? So anyways, that's my training for tonight. I'm going to stop the recording. Then we're going to play Romper Room, and then we're going to talk about the giveaway, okay? All right. So thanks, guys.